Welcome to Keep Playing, the podcast where we challenge you to stop playing for someone else's team and start building your own. We're here to bridge the gap between sports and business so you can lead, grow, and win. Game on. What is going on, Keep Playing Nation? Sonny Burt here with my man Lance Johnson. And it is dog days of summer, baby. It is hot in Arizona.
Yes, sir.
It is hot, and my man's got his Dodger blue on today.
World champions.
My Dodger
Yes,
blue
sir.
man here.
Let's go Dodgers.
Oh, man. And I'm here. I'm ready for football season already. Let's go.
I'm with you. I'm studying Caleb and what he's doing with the Bears, but right now I'm bleeding blue. I'm on the West Coast right now as far as my sports and everything. And when fall comes around, I'll be with USC still. So, but my pro team is the Bears, so I'm with those guys. So.
Well, it's fun. Dog days of summer upon us. Sports hot and heavy. We got a good one for you today.
Yes,
I think this is leadership being one of the key attributes that I consider more than a title, more than a job description. It's a mindset and a responsibility.
Right.
And it's a responsibility that you don't take lightly. Anytime you're in a leadership position, anytime that you have people that are following you in whatever you're doing, you're not the one behind pushing. You're the one pulling. Yeah. You're right in front. You're showing them the way, and it's a huge responsibility. In many different ways of life, in running, multi-million-dollar businesses, people want to work for good leaders.
Yeah.
The quote unquote, the good boss, I had a great boss. Mm-hmm. It's truly that leader. If you're saying you have a good boss, you really probably don't have a good leader.
Right. You probably.
So, we're going to dive into leadership pretty deep today. It's one of my favorite topics ever. I've studied leadership quite a bit, and I've watched a lot of great leaders on the football field, baseball field, basketball court, on the ice, across business worlds. So we're just going to dive into it today. And Lance, I just want to hear from you. Like, what makes a good leader in your mind? What would get you out of bed every day to go say, I got to go follow this guy?
Well, leadership, the ability to influence, inspire, motivate. I've always had leaders and bosses that I may not have liked, but I respected their authority. I was taught that growing up to respect authority, and so even if I don't like you as a person, I respect your position, and when I respect your position, that forces me to hone in and listen to what you're doing and try to figure out what am I supposed to get from you during this season of my life, because people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And most of the time, all the bosses I had, I knew that they was in for a season. A lot of them didn't like me for whatever reason that was, but I always was the top performer in everything I did. And I'm saying that with all humility, but that's the truth. I would strive to be the very best. So if you're the type of person that I know that you're going to show up every day, if I know that you're the type of person that's going to motivate me or make me be creative, or you're going to help me get to that next step, or make me think outside of the box, make me look within myself, you're going to do something that's going to force me that's going to cause an action to me to do something different outside of my own way of thinking and doing, then I'm going to get up for you. And sometimes that's not always a boss. I think that's why a lot of times, we have our mantras when we wake up, whether that's prayer or watching the news or not the news, but watching a certain podcast.
Yeah, not the news.
Not the news. I didn't mean to say news. But watching a podcast or something that inspires you, so you can get that little wind in your sails throughout the day. If you don't have that person that that can get you there.
Yeah, and when I think about a leader, I think about the obvious person. I think my dad was a great leader. Mm-hmm. He led our family. Mm-hmm. We did great things as a family. But in sports, I think of great leaders. And one that jumps to my mind is Tom Brady.
Okay.
7 Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm.
It don't come to no surprise that he's probably not a great leader in the locker room. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of effort and courage to do it for as long as he did. Mm-hmm. And then he went to a whole nother team and rallied that team from what, at the time I thought the Buccaneers weren't really that good, and then they go and pull off a Super Bowl win. So, you start to plug in common denominators with a team and things like that. I know we've talked about Michael Jordan hundreds of times. I mean, I think he was an amazing leader. The documentary, the Final Dance or Last Dance.
Last Dance, yep.
Was a great thing. I even watched that with my son. Kobe Bryant. Gosh, we could just go probably for days just naming off names. But you think about these leaders and what do? They're usually the first one there. They're usually the last one to go. They're pushing. They're working harder than everybody else, because at the end of the day, they want to pursue greatness. They want to pursue excellence, and they want to be the greatest they can be. But they realize that without people and teams around them, that their goals and their ambitions are unachievable.
Yeah.
And so they're able to bring their group, their team, their part of their company, whatever position or wherever that was as a leader, they're able to bring that team together, and people look up to them for the guidance and suggestions and to show them the way to find greatness.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to really take note of. No good leader is doing it by themselves.
Exactly. And you just talked about Tom Brady. The thing that made Tom Brady so special, of course, it was his leadership. He was picked like last in the draft. But my mother always taught me this. She said that in order to lead or in order to be a king, you got to be able to serve. So if you're going to be a leader, you got to be able to sacrifice. And Tom Brady sacrificed. If you notice, every time it came up to contract negotiations, he always took below what he was supposed to be making. And he did that for the fact that he knew that the Patriots needed to get more talent in there. So with him taking a pay cut, it was able to make sure that he had the team that he needed that was going to be just enough for him to win the Super Bowl. Well, if you're a good leader, you find a way to figure out what can I sacrifice for the betterment of the team. And if you're only thinking about what can I do for me to gain and for me to be on the top of the mountain, well, what happens is the mountain top is a point, and it's very small up there on that point. And when you're on that point, everybody's trying to pull you down. There's not space for two people to be up there. But if you can get a flat area and the whole team can celebrate together, now while you're up there, you got a bunch of people that can protect you to make sure that you don't fall down by yourself. You got people that's being like fences and gates to make sure that you stay on top because you're making sure that they stay on top. So if you think about that from the aspect of not so much linear, but lateral, how can I make the people around me better? Any great team, you look at the champions, the OKC Thunder right now. They are a team that's a throwback. It's not a super team. It's one superstar on that team, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. And he makes sure that the team knows that he's going to lead them. He has their back. He's going to go out there and perform at his very best, and he makes his team perform on that level. So that's a great leader when you can just bring up everybody around you because everybody sees that you're going to come with it 100%. Now you motivated me to give you 100%.
Yeah, 100%. And, as a big hockey fan, I think, it's gotten a little bit out of the game, but it's still there. You have the superstars in the league, and I go back to thinking of the Wayne Gretzky days.
Yeah.
He always played with Marty McSorley.
Yeah.
And if you mess with Wayne Gretzky, you mess with Marty McSorley.
Yeah, McSorley. He was such a bully, man. My goodness.
Goodness. You could take that across really anywhere.
Yeah.
Any profession, anything. Your good leaders are going to get support, and you're going to have, I loved your analogy of the mountain. You're going to have your group of people that are insulating you, not from the world, but because they care about you as well.
Right.
And if you show that passion, compassion, empathy for your team, then your team's going to outperform the next team over that's struggling with all of that.
Exactly.
So it's just an amazing thing that you can see as a team comes together. And I agree with you. Oklahoma City winning. I don't follow a ton of basketball.
Right.
I know enough.
Yeah.
I did watch that championship game. The Halliburton injury was horrible.
Terrible.
You
don't
never
wish that on nobody. Right.
You never wish that upon anybody. And would the game be different with him? I don't know. But that team, looking at it, there was no LeBron James.
Right.
There was no big,
no Steph, no big Kevin Durant, none of those big name guys.
They weren't there. There's a new guy in town. What do they say? There's a new sheriff in town.
Yep.
and
Yep.
and I absolutely admire what he's done there and some of the things he said, the way he holds himself is in a quite professional manner. And I think he's got a very good career. And even after basketball, I think he's got a tremendous upside, which is why keep playing's around here to really bridge that gap, because everything that you learn playing a sport, becoming a leader on your sports team, being a captain, you really set yourself up with the skills that you need to build and grow and manage and be a leader of a successful business, corporation, however big you want it to be. Maybe it's just a small family business, whatever it might be. You're already gaining those skills that you really need. You don't need to know everything, and that's what's important about a leader. They don't know everything. If your leader is a small shooting guard, do you think he knows how to be a big rebounder?
Nope, he doesn't.
No, he don't.
He doesn't, right.
He knows how to do his craft and do it very well and bring the whole team together. That's what he's good at. So I just think it's amazing when we talk about leaders and you get in going down that rabbit hole of things that, I was a captain on my high school football team. Did I think I'd be a business owner one day? Kind of. That was kind of a dream of mine. But, it took a lot of work and resilience to get there, and discipline. Everything else we've already talked about. But it also took me being able to bring teams together and realize that for the better good, we have to work together.
Right.
And, there's no better scenario for me to think about than I was 17 years old, and my dad said, hey, I'm sending you down to, it was a little town called San Manuel, and I need you to run this project for me. And, it's just kind of those, I talk about it in my book, actually. It's just one of those things like, Dad, are you sure about this? But he had the faith in me. I just hadn't quite had it in me yet. And it was one of those life-changing moments for me where I stepped onto this project with a bunch of men that were much older, much wiser, had been in the trade much longer. And I'm trying to help them get to the goal and finish this project on time. So, sometimes you get thrown into the fire and you got to figure it out, on your own and figure it out quickly. But I look back, I led a football team. I was the captain. They voted me the captain. Like, I just thought about all those things that I had already done. It's just incorporating them into a different light.
Exactly.
So instead of running and having a football team, I had a whole team with tool belts, jumping on a roof, and getting air conditioning units set on the roof. So, it was a real game-changing point in my life. And really from there on, I knew there was nothing that really could hold me back except myself.
Right.
And I look in the mirror every morning and just give myself a pep talk and let myself know that you're doing a good job. Keep going. You're going in the right direction. And that's what it takes sometimes as a leader, some of that self-reflection as well. We've talked about that already too. So right. Just kind of amazing how that all kind of pulls together. So,
well, just speaking about what you're saying, how you got thrown in the fire, again, I relay everything with either Michael Jordan story or Bible scripture. And it says that God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the call. And what that means is your father seen in you that you had the ability to go down there and lead. And he knew that going down there, even though you might not have had the experience, he knew that it was in you already to lead. So once you get down there, the experience of being down there and being with the other journeymen and all those other guys, you were smart enough to absorb and listen to what they had to say, but you was disciplined enough to still do what you needed to do, that you knew how to do to be able to be a leader. He knew it was already in you enough to be a leader. And a lot of times we go into situations where we're questioning whether or not we can do it or not. And that's why faith is so important, because a lot of times if you don't walk into a situation with the confidence that you can do it and that I can, and if I mess up, I'm going to do it again. That's where the resiliency comes from. We just talked about that in the last episode. And when I was also talking about how you go through adversity throughout your whole life to build you up to where you're at now, where you look at where you're at now. You said you never thought that you was going to be a business owner, but because of everything that you've been through, you qualified yourself to be where you're at now. You were already called to be a business leader way back when your father sent you on that project. But you were building up your leadership skills and building up who you are to the point where now I'm ready to run my own business, and not just run my own business, but I'm running my business on another level because of the experience. That's where I'm at. I felt like I've been through so much adversity that, hey, okay, I'm not welcoming adversity, but I know that if it comes my way, I got these many options I can go to, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, I still trust that it's going to still work out in my favor.
Yeah, you got to trust the process a little bit, right?
Exactly.
And as hard as that can be sometimes, you're like, oh my gosh, why?
Right.
Why is this happening to me?
Right.
And it becomes, as a leader, you can't play the victim mentality.
No.
You cannot be the victim because people are going to look at you.
Yeah, you got to stay calm all the time and stay focused as a leader. You cannot let everybody else around you know that, hey, the wind is too much. You got to sometimes say, peace, be still. And let everybody know, even if it's still blowing, we got this. We under control. That's the leader.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many times you get put in those positions in life, on a sports field, wherever that might be, and that's why I'm just so in love with the fact of what we've done in sports and what you grow as a human being and as a person is so important to becoming a good leader.
Yeah.
And I think leadership truly just transpires between the two, and that's why we're here.
Right.
That's why we're talking about this type of stuff, because I think there's so many people out there that just need a little encouragement, that have played sports or been in situations. I even use military. Like, there's amazing people out there that just maybe need that kick in the rear end and realize that, like my dad did to me when I was 17. Just, you got to get into the game.
Right.
You got to get yourself into the game, and it's not just hand it to you.
No.
A coach doesn't hand you playing time. No. You got to go earn it. You got to go put in the work. Yep. You got to put the reps in. But if you do, you're going to find yourself in good positions.
Right.
And, just like people make trades and people sign as free agents and move different teams and move different, I see captains being traded all the time. Like, it happens. And you get put into different situations. And how do you react in that new locker room? In that, you go to a new company. How do you react when you get to that new company?
Right.
Are you just going to go merge in, or are you going to put the work in to understand how that company works? You're going to understand their philosophies, their culture. Are you going to be able to fit in, or are you going to rise to the top and build a team and really take that company to the next level?
How you gonna if you go in there with the mindset of, first of all, you got to enter every situation humble. If you enter every situation with humility, not feeling like you the best thing since sliced bread, and that you're coachable, which is number one, then you could be a coach. You can't be you got to be a type of person that can be led in order to be a leader. So when you said you see a lot of people that's in the military, a lot of people who play sports who is trying to get their own business, trying to figure out a way to get started. I remember for a long time I was trying to figure out what is it that I would do for nothing, that I would get up and just work 24/7 and don't get paid for it and would love it. And it took me a long time to actually figure that out. And then it hit me, sports. You love sports. You like working with athletes. You like making people feel better.
Sometimes it takes a big hammer over the head, right?
It did. So I went to massage school before I was a personal trainer, because I felt like, first of all, I love my parents, so I wanted to help them out. They was arthritic, so I figured if I can work on them, I can one day, be able to heal up all their problems. And one thing led to another. I learned about sports massage. Then from sports massage, I was working with athletes, and I realized, hey, I can manipulate the muscles to make them perform better. Hey, what if I get into training? And getting into training, my love of sports carried over. One thing leads to another. And the point I'm trying to make without going through this whole thing is that if you're trying to figure out what I can do to be a leader, first of all, figure out what am I good at, or where can I be led at? Who can lead me into, where am I motivated the most? Like you said, leader. Where am I most comfortable at when somebody's talking to me, teaching me something, and I'm just absorbing it? That's probably your passion right there. And then from there, you pick that up, and then you learn to master that discipline. And then from there, you start figuring out a way to collaborate, which you talked about in the last episode. Collaborate with that person that's leading you, and try to have them put you to the point where they can teach you how to be a leader. And you still keep that leader to keep you fed so that you can continue to feed. I'm a trainer. I train 30, 40 people every week. I have 3 trainers. I have a trainer in Australia. I got my machine trainer. I got another trainer in the gym that I train with, and I train myself. I mean, but the other 3 trainers, I'm constantly being fed, so I can be able to pass that along. So I think that if the nugget, I don't know, we're not at the end yet, but the nugget I would take from this is pretty much, if you're going to be a leader, you got to first learn how to be led. And if you can learn that, if you want to be a coach, you got to first be coachable. If you can figure out what it is I can do to submit myself to learn, and I want to just keep feeding it in. Like right now, I got a crazy passion of art. I'm trying to learn everything it is about fine art and the Louvre and everything in France. My wife can't stand it, but that's just my new passion. So before I start talking about art, I got to learn some more and keep studying this stuff. I'm 50 years old. This, I guess, midlife crisis type thing you're dealing with.
So most people get a new car. Like
I'm studying art right now at this age. But the point I'm trying to make, and the land is plain, is that if you want to be in business and you find yourself on the edge and you can't figure out, how do I break from this 9 to 5? Like, this is the purpose of us doing this key plan. How do I take this up to another level? How do I rise? How do I go up another step? Figure out what it is that you would do all the time, whether you're in control of it or somebody else is teaching you that, and just go from there and keep taking it one step at a time and embrace losing, embrace failure, embrace not making it, embrace mistakes, but just don't quit. When you quit, it's over. But if you just keep going, that's all a part of the DNA of success. Losing is part of the DNA of success. You got to have it. You got to lose sometime, but you got to do it in order for you to lose so you can know how to go back and correct your mistakes.
And I think you lead into, how I really want to finish this up is it's okay to have a coach throughout your life.
All the time.
Growing up, playing baseball, football, whatever sport it was, in the NFL, all these major sports, they have coaches.
Yep.
Multiple coaches.
Yep.
It's not just a head coach.
Yep.
Bill Belichick didn't win 6 Super Bowls by himself.
Yep.
He had offensive coordinators, special team. Like, he had a whole slew of coaches. And I encourage you to have a coach for life. I have coaches. You just mentioned you have coaches.
Yeah, mentors.
Right? Mentors, coaches. And those people are important in life. And it's important that you find those people to help elevate you and learn where you want to be. And you got to have that coach that's already where you want to be. Right? You don't want a coach that's underneath you.
Right.
Because that do you no good.
Right.
But you want to have those people you look up to. My dad was always a mentor of mine. He was a business owner. I always looked up to him. And, I got to that point. And then I found somebody that was above that, and you just always find that upper. If you want to go up, you got to hit the elevator button and go up.
Facts.
Or hit the stairs and go up. Whatever it is, if you want to go up, you got to go up.
Yep.
And to up your game, you got to have those people that are already up there.
Definitely.
You want to get to the penthouse, you got to climb the stairs, and it's going to be a hard, long walk to get there. But with the right people, the right mentors, the surrounding yourself with the right team, it just makes things a little bit easier.
All the time.
I'm never going to say this is easy.
No.
You're never going to hear me say anything that we do in business, in sports, in life is easy. But there's things out there that you can do to make it a little bit more simple. Could
you appreciate it if it was easy? Would you go at it as with the same type of determination if it's easy? If it's easy, you take advantage of it. If you don't get nothing from it, or if it becomes like it's not a challenge, you're really not going to you're not going to pay attention to it. I hate to say it, but we were created for adversity in life. We were created to overcome obstacles. It's not that I'm a firm believer that my story was written from the end before the beginning was even put together. I knew where I was going to be. God or whoever you believe in wrote my story from the end. So with that being said, all I got to do is keep putting one foot in front of the other, and if it comes in my head and it's a vision, it's a thought, something I want to do, then that must mean that's something that's going to be in my life. Now I got to figure out the pathway. What's the golden ticket for me to get there? What bus do I need to get on? What ship do I need to ride on? What plane do I need to fly on? What do I need to do to get me to my destination? And wherever that may take me, I got to first believe that I got to get to that destination. And if I keep doing that, then I'm going to find the people, my tour guides, that's going to help me get to where I need to go. But you got to first have that vision of where you want to be and what you want to be.
Yeah, I absolutely love the tour guide, right? Like, yeah, why not? If I want to drive from here to New York, I'm going to need a tour guide how to get there.
Exactly.
Right? I'm just not going to blindly get in my car and start driving. I'll never get there. Find the tour guide. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. Find your tour guide. Find your tour guide.
Yes, sir.
So,
That's your leader.
Really take a look at your life and what's one step that you can take right now.
MapQuest your life. Where
Yeah.
I want to be. I'm here now. This is where I want to be. How do I get there?
Yeah, and so as we kind of wrap this up here, for me, wrapping this up today, I just want to encourage our listeners really to take one small thing this week, this month, not a year from now, right now. Take one and do one small thing to build your leadership skills. Whether that's helping a coworker gain a promotion, right? What better reward is it than helping a coworker get a promotion? Right, that's helping somebody else rise to the level, and you're going to find that water comes up, and it's going to take you with it. Yes, so, go out there, take a lead in some small way. Do something small. It don't have to be big, and really focus on that leadership. And it's amazing what kind of teams you can build in success that you can find when you truly have that team, and you can lead a good, solid group of players, coworkers. Whatever it is that you want to lead, I believe you have the ability to.
Well, can I give some homework too? So
Absolutely.
So Sonny said your homework is for you to promote and rise somebody up, take somebody to the next level. My homework is for you to find somebody that you can sit up under. Find that person that's a great leader, and you respect them and you appreciate that leader. You may not like them, but you like what they're able to lead. You like what they're able to do as far as motivate you or, make you understand what it is you're doing a little bit better. So if you can go out there and find that one leader, that one mentor, we got Allison in our group, which is a great mentor and leader, but find that one person that can motivate you and lead you and just ride their coattails and until one day you can take their mantle, and then you'll be leading people as well.
Man, Lance, we're going to wrap this one up. Another fire episode here. Super excited to be doing this with you. And this is... I feel like we're sitting in our garage just having a couple cold brewskis.
All the time.
Hanging out.
I love it.
Just sharing what we've been through. Yeah. And it's all about leadership. And when we come back next time, we're going to have some more fun things. And we'll get wrapped up here. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in to Keep Playing with Sonny Burt and Lance Johnson, the show where athletes turn sports into business success. If today's episode hit a home run, be sure to follow, rate, and review the show. Share it with a teammate and tag us on socials to keep the conversation going. And remember, the season might end, but the game never does.
Keep showing up, keep growing, and most of all, keep playing.